All right, guys, welcome. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of the greatest true crime podcast ever assembled to mankind. But first of all, I have to encourage everybody out there to go out and get the new Taylor Swift album. It dropped today, and I heard it's a banger. Anywho, not much going on. Saw Smashing Machine yesterday with The Rock, but now known as DJ. Not Dwayne, not The Rock. He's DJ now. Lost a bunch of weight. He's DJ. He's a serious actor. He's probably going to win an Oscar or be nominated for an Oscar. He did a really good job. The movie was okay. You know, it pretty much was what I thought it was. But also Ryan Bader is really good in that too. He should probably get a supporting nod for that. And that's the first movie I believe he was in. But anyways, I've been doing a lot of Sebastian Rogers. Not a lot going on with that. I guess the stepfather called in on one of the shows and talked a little bit about looking for lizards and reptiles and people taking pictures of them. If some more stuff comes out of that, I might go to that. But this is a case here that, I don't really know a whole lot about. But actually went to school with a guy named Josh Amos. And this is a different guy. This is a young man, I think it was like around 31 years old. And he was working, and I forget where it was at. And he left the bar, and he was in a group with people. I don't know if I think it was a new job he did. And they all went out, and then he left the bar. And they have footage of him running down the street. And I think he tried to get into like a bus or something, and maybe didn't have no money. And then, that was the last time they saw him. And then there was some homeless people. There was a homeless guy that said they thought that they saw him being robbed or jumped by some guys. But I'm going to go ahead, and I got a video here. I think it's about 16 minutes. I'll speed it up. We'll watch that. I think she'll tell. It's a female here. She'll tell a little bit about the case. And then then I'll show another video where it's an interview with the mother of Josh Amos. So, this young man's been missing. I think he was 31. He's been missing for a while now. I think about 10 years. But I'm going to go ahead and play this video here and get going here. And this young lady here, I'll shoot out her channel. This Adrian, I think that's her name. If I can see that. So I don't know what her channel is. I think it's just her name, Adrian Burnett Project. So credit goes to her. And she's going to tell you a little bit, I believe, or Crime Theories. It looks like, no, I'm sorry. Crime Theories is the name of her channel here. So we'll go ahead and play her. And
okay. So today here, we're going to go ahead and talk about Joshua Amos. And if that name doesn't sound familiar, that's because, well, not a lot of people are talking about him. Mm-hmm. That's what I like to do here. I like to talk about cases that not a lot of people know about. So
yeah, me too. This is not a very popular case. I follow him on the Facebook page, and something happened to this young man. So I think this one's solvable. So here we go.
All right. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I want to get into this a little bit here. Okay, so we're going to talk about Joshua Amos today. So Joshua is 32 years old. He
32.
Is So his mom actually had like four girls, and they're all older than him. So Joshua is the little itty bitty baby brother that everyone kind of looks after and takes care of. So yeah, that's just a little bit about him here. So he grew up with a loving aspect of Caseyville. So he lives in Caseyville. He likes to be out in the country. He loves being like by creeks and in the forest, and he just loves anything that's outdoorsy. Josh has 2 daughters, and they are 8 and 11 years old. So he loves taking them out on the boats, going swimming, and just like spending Mother Nature with his girls, which you know what, a lot of people don't do anymore. So it's kind of awesome that he does do that. So he's no longer with the mother of his child, but his mother currently said that he's actually pretty good at co-parenting. And so him and his ex end up co-parenting a lot, and they're actually they don't cause a lot of drama with that, which is nice. So Joshua was living with roommates in Grantsville City, Illinois. So this was about 20 minutes away from Caseyville at the time that he went missing. So Christina, his mom, says, she spoke to him on March 17th, 2023. Like I said, this is really recent, so you might have not heard this. So everything seemed to be normal. He discussed like his girlfriend and like weekend plans. A month before, he had begun like a new job and everything. Christina, his mom, also stated, you know what, Josh had only recently actually started working at the Precoat Metals in Grantsville City. And the pay was pretty good too. So that's one of the reasons why I took it. And it was a fantastic job that he was happy with. He put in a lot of overtime there as well, just to try to help him make, the extra money and make ends meet there. And he speaks with his mom a lot. So a few times a week, if not every day, he's always talking to his mom, right? So his mom, Christina, says that on March 19th, her youngest son ended up calling her with some unsettling news. And he started like apologizing for everything that he had ever done. He's like on the phone, freaking out, saying like, "I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that I was a bad kid. I'm sorry that this happened." And we're just going on and on about apologizing. And his mom didn't know what to make of that. Like, it was like, what is going on? Like, going ahead and apologizing for everything that's happened in the last few years. And I don't know where this is coming from. So Josh had actually gone out with a few of his buddies since then. And he went out with his buddies that night before. And then after that, like no one actually got in touch with him after he was seen at the strip club with some of his pals.
Oh, that's
so they were all at the strip club, and his friends say, yeah, he was just headed home. And that's the last time that anyone's heard of him.
So let's okay. So he was 32, and it was in Illinois, sure how to say that. And I know he was working some sort of new job on the road. And I forgot about it. Yeah, he called his mom and kind of said all these things, like, sorry for everything. And then he was married. He had 2 kids, like 2 daughters, they said. And he wasn't married to his wife anymore, but they co-parented. And then I guess it was a strip bar. I thought it was a regular bar. And so those places can be shady. That goes into the God help me, we just did him, Tyler Davis case. Remember they went to a strip bar. I slowed down a little bit. It was too
the Ocean Park Police Department receives a report from Christina's youngest son that day. So he ends up calling police. His brother does, and being like, "Hey, my brother Josh is missing. No one has seen him since last night. We don't know what's going on." And Christina ends up calling police too, and being like, "Yeah, I don't know where he is. I don't know what's going on." So according to his mom, he said that she was saying that like what she thinks happened here is that in the early hours of March 19th, Joshua went to Scarlett's Cabernet. So it's a club that's in Washington Park with 3 of his buddies that are from Granite City. It takes about 16 minutes to get there from where he lived. They lingered there until about almost 5 a.m. So it's about 4:58 in the morning, which, that's pretty late on Sunday. And according to her, Joshua is actually captured inside the parking lot outside the club, and you can watch him leave the area. So he does leave the area like on his own with no one else by his side. So Christina said that she spoke with a few friends who were with Josh that evening, and they claimed like he just left. One of them stayed behind and searched for him. They were never able to like locate him. So like they're saying like, well, he just left. He didn't tell us that he was going anywhere. He just all of a sudden disappeared.
Just dipped out.
So his mom
that
actually reported
happens
that
too.
he was seen again 5 hours later at a train station.
Oh,
and
train
this is very
station.
weird because like normally he doesn't get on a train, so
That's
that was
what I thought.
kind
It
of odd
was
as
a
well
bus.
too. So this was a few minutes from the club though. So Christina ended up talking to a bus driver that was
Oh, bus.
around that area too, and the bus driver claimed that he got on the bus and
That's
he
what
was
I
going to
thought.
Granite City to go home. And the bus driver said that he appeared to be incredibly, like really, really cold and just like lost. And he insisted he needed to return home to Granite City. That's where he needed to go. He needed to go home. He kept telling this to the bus driver. So
It could be just having like a nervous breakdown. I know like schizophrenia runs from like kids or young men, not kids, they're like 20s to early or late 20s, but he was 32. And he was cold too. So maybe he went into hypothermia.
his mom claims that after the bus driver assisted Josh in purchasing a bus pass because he couldn't figure it out and he was just like having a panic attack at this point. His mom said that the driver said, "All right, get on the bus and I'll take you to Emerson Park Metro Link." This was at 6:45 a.m. in Emerson Park. So he's actually seen on camera and he is spotted waiting for the train, but he never boards the train when it arrives.
So he never boarded
the
the
train
train.
comes and goes and he doesn't get on it. So the last confirmed sighting was captured on 7:28 Sunday morning. He was seen on camera at the EJ Motors Transport in East Louis, which is roughly around 5 minutes away from the Metro Link stop that he got on from the bus. So Josh can be seen strolling around the parking lot. No one's pursuing him. There's no automobiles near. We saw him on camera at that point. Christina recalled he was around there for like 2 hours and just like walking.
That sounds like Tyler Davis, but I guess it turned out that wasn't him on the camera. That was his friend. But yeah, it sounds like another guy just went missing in the middle of town. It's crazy.
It would be like 2 hours if he ended up walking there from his house. So it seems like, I mean, it is doable, but that's a long walk. So police department have conducted numerous searches for him with the assistance of the Illinois State Police Department. And they've also looked around all the surrounding clubs that he was at and frequented. So not just the same clubs that he was at that night, but the ones that he frequented as well. So he was last seen on a security camera leaving the parking lot, walked away from Washington Park around Lincoln Avenue and 17th Street. He continued by, and there have been many reports and sightings of him, but none of them have been like confirmed at all. There's no evidence to saying that this was a result of any criminal activity. Christina mentioned that Josh's friends and relatives have been looking for him, conducting dog searches, cadaver dogs, everything.
Be checking water.
So everyone like ended up gathering together at a friend's house before Josh left. And Josh actually left his cell phone at his friend's house. So his cell phone has been there the entire time. So there is no cell phone tracking him at this point. It is all off surveillance. So he, without a cell phone, hasn't used his bank account or license plate vehicles that can be tracked him. There is no activity on his card either. Several callers have claimed to have seen him, but each time it proves like it's not him. And that's gotta be really hard on the family. That's gotta be an emotional roller coaster for sure.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
His mom said too that, regarding the disappearance of Joshua, some people are saying that Joshua had allegedly been robbed and that maybe he tried to get on the train and he couldn't because he got robbed. But we don't know. We don't know if this is true or not. This is a tip that came in, but it's unfounded. She said she doesn't know what happened to him. She does have a theory. She thinks that he might have fell asleep somewhere and then just didn't wake up and died from exposure of the cold, which is very possible, especially if he's been drinking.
Yeah,
but there is a Facebook page called Bring Josh Amos Home.
Yeah.
So if you are dedicated on trying to find him and figure out what happened to him, you're more than welcome to go there. Josh's family is offering rewards of $2,500 with anyone with information that might help locate him. I mean, and she says too, you know what? His girls need him home. They just need to be able to hug him and have their daddy back. So, so he is a 5'11". He is 190 pounds. He's brown hair, brown eyes. Last seen wearing blue jeans, light gray, long sleeve crew neck, and Adidas tennis shoes. So he does have several tattoos that kind of stand out, including his daughter's names, which is Bella and Mia. Those are on his chest and Chinese symbols on the right bicep. And he does apparently have a distinctive walk, according to his mom too, because he has lower back pain. So if anyone has information, please reach out to the Washington Police Department. What's interesting though is on this same day in Louisiana, there are confirmed 12 UFO sightings. And no one else is bringing this up. No one else is bringing up The
Because
fact that there was 12
UFOs.
UFO sightings and a man that just disappeared. Is that coincidence, or you know what? Was he abducted by aliens? I mean, I feel like if the true
So that gets into the 411 type stuff. All right, let's play. I believe that's it. One. Yeah, I don't know about aliens, but there's a lot of different possibilities on this. He could have started a new life. He could have been abducted. Here's another. Let's check this out. This is like this might have videos and stuff.
Joshua Amos was born on July the 28th, 1990. He grew up in Caseyville, Illinois with his mother, Christina, 4 older sisters and 2 younger brothers. By all accounts, Josh had a happy childhood. Caseyville is a small town, and growing up, Josh loved living there. He loved the outdoors. There was nothing he enjoyed more than being out in nature, whether out in the country or down by the creek. The town always had something to occupy him. As he grew up, Josh would go on to have his own children, both girls aged 8 and 11, and he loved taking
There's
them out
his
in nature,
tattoos.
especially taking them out on boats and swimming. Although Josh was no longer with the girl's mother, it appeared they were very good at co-parenting. Those who knew Josh would describe him as an outgoing, fun guy to be around. Josh's aunt said he's the one who all the nieces and nephews want to ride with, want to spend the night with, and want to get picked up.
Good-looking guy.
He's the fun one. He's silly, sarcastic.
Looks a bit like Colin
funny.
Farrell.
He's a sweetheart. He's the guy of the family. He's pretty much the one that ties us all together. From 2023, Josh was living with his roommates in Granite City.
2023. Is that
Just
what they
prior
said?
to his disappearance, Josh had started working at Precoat Metals in Granite
Or was
City.
it 2003?
It was a good paying job, and he was said to be really excited about the new opportunity, even though the job meant him working much longer hours than he had previously. Christina spoke to her son on March the 17th, and everything seemed normal. They talked about his girls and his plans for the weekend, and Josh seemed happy. Nothing in that call seemed unusual. It was a call that otherwise would not
Yeah, he
stand
did
out,
have
but this would be the
a lot
last
of
time she would
tattoos.
speak to her son. Just 2 days
Two on his
later, he
arm.
would disappear. On Saturday, March the 18th, 2023, Josh made plans to go out with his friends, and he and 3 friends went to Scarlett's Cabaret on Bunch Road,
2023. I thought it was
strip club
longer
in
than that.
Washington Park, Illinois, roughly 15 minutes drive from where Josh lived. The friends hung out until the early hours of Sunday morning before Josh decided to leave. At 4:58 a.m., Amos was captured on surveillance video leaving Scarlett's Cabaret and walking by himself in
Oh,
the parking
wow.
lot outside of the
There's
club.
like nothing
One
around
of his
that.
friends went out to look for him but couldn't find him. Shortly after leaving the club, Josh was
bus.
spotted at Jackie Joyner KC Centre Station in East St. Louis. The outside temperature was roughly 25 degrees Fahrenheit, and according to a bus driver, Josh looked cold and disoriented.
Yeah, he could have.
At the time, saying he needed to get home to Granite City. The bus driver helped Amos buy a bus pass
Hypothermia.
and drove him to Emerson Park Station, where he was later captured at around 6:45 a.m. by Metrolink surveillance cameras, waiting for a train. However, for whatever reason, Josh didn't get on the train when it arrived. The last confirmed sighting on camera is
Could he got hit by a train?
At 7:28 a.m., Josh was captured on camera at EJ Motors Transports, a trucking company on Lincoln Avenue, about 5 minutes from the Emerson
Illinois.
Park
I bet
Metrolink
everything's
station.
everything's
It
probably
shows
flat.
Josh walking through the parking lot.
There.
Nobody appears to be following him, and no cars seem to be around him. That's the last time Josh is captured on CCTV. Where Josh went after this point remains a mystery, but Joshua Amos never returned home. His family almost immediately filed a missing persons report with the Washington Park Police Department when they couldn't contact him. Family and law enforcement immediately started searching for Josh. Unfortunately, one of the most common ways of tracking someone's movements could not be used. Josh disappeared without his cell phone, which had been left behind at his home in Granite City,
no cell
where he
phone.
and his friends met up before going out that night. Investigators searched the areas surrounding the club that Josh walked away from in Washington Park and the area around.
See, when I hear no cell phone, my mind always goes to like somebody did something, foul play, because everybody knows cell phones can track you now. You know, throwing out the card or whatever. You know, like if you were going to do something to somebody, I'm not taking their cell phone. You know, that's a good way to get tracked, or mine. So.
Lincoln Avenue and 17th Street in East St. Louis, the parking lot where Josh was last seen on security footage. Unfortunately, no trace of Josh could be found. His bank account and credit cards have shown no activity since his disappearance. The family also conducted an additional search with the use of dogs, but the outcome was unfortunately the same. There has been multiple theories as to what happened to Josh that morning. There were rumours of a violent mugging in East St. Louis on the day that Amos disappeared, but Josh didn't appear injured to the bus driver or in the security footage. But it's a possibility that something like this happened to him after these interactions. It has also been considered that Amos fell asleep outside in the freezing temperatures and didn't wake up. But had this been the case, why hasn't his body been located? Whatever happened to Josh, Christina told Dateline she's determined to find out. She runs the Bring Josh Amos Home Facebook page.
Yeah, I would kind of wonder, like, how many hours he was working. See, like, if he, if he would have been tired enough to where he fell asleep somewhere. What type of neighborhoods? Is there bad neighborhoods around that area? The UFO sightings. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about all that, but
so every time I talk to one of you.
Okay, so now this is going to be an interview with his mother. This is sad. Heads up. It's sad. This is a mother looking for her son. So here we go. You go ahead and play it.
Guys, I'd just like to take a moment out to thank you for how strong you're being and how much you're fighting for your loved one, and just want to let you know that you're not alone. Obviously, you have me and Denise. You can see all the people in the chat. So we have
Josh. This is Josh Herbert, Jason Herbert, True Crime and Missing Persons. Looks like this video got about 3,000 views, so that's good.
Community here, people that love to help out with cases. So I pray that this is going to help bring you some answers. So just wanted to thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you want to start by maybe just telling us a little bit about Josh in general, and then kind of lead us into the timeline of events relevant to his disappearance?
Sure. Josh was 32 when he went missing. He had just started a new job at Precoat, and that night that he went out was with some new friends he hadn't known very long at all. I didn't personally know any of them that he was with that night. Josh was very funny. He was our storyteller. Always had a good story to tell. I was looking at the pictures you had on the loop, and he was just so handsome. It's
handsome guy. That struck out to me right away.
Yeah, I love looking at pictures. Some days I can look at pictures and not cry, and other days it's just really hard for me to see. But
just so you know, are you okay with me? I posted. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm good. Okay. Yeah. But he had 2 daughters that he loved very much. A lot of nieces and nephews, and he was the fun uncle. He's just a lot of fun to be around and hang out with, and it was a very hard worker. He loved to work, and he loved his playtime too, mostly with family and friends, of course. And he had a lot of good friends that have become like family members to us through the years. He was just a very special person. He's very special to all of us, and it's very deeply missed. It's left a really big void in all of our lives. It's the ones that love him and know him. He's just irreplaceable, so sorry.
Take all the time you need. If you need a moment to step off camera, we're absolutely prepared for that, and we can. Don't worry about it.
I usually don't cry through these things, but I don't know. Seeing his pictures just. But I loved, like I said, I love looking at pictures of him and remembering happy times, and of course we pray. We'll get to see him again. So, yeah.
So just so you know, like I said, I put them up there because everyone watching, we want them to see what he looks like for a sighting or stuff.
Oh, definitely.
If they're too much for you at any point, just tell me.
No, you're fine. You're good. I'll get it together.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm okay.
I would definitely put that picture up
that
because he could have long hair
or
now.
Anything relevant beforehand? Or?
Sure. That night,
with a beard.
We actually were able to watch the video from Scarlett's of that evening. We watched it the following night once we made the missing persons police report. Washington police went with us to the club, and we viewed the videotape. Myself and my youngest son did. And so the last time we see him on videotape at the club is at 4:58. It shows that Josh was in the parking lot, and he just walked away. Not exactly sure why. We know that the fight had broken out at the club, and police were showing up, and I don't know what the reason was. I know Josh wasn't involved in the fight, and he's not the reason why the police came that night. But he walked away at 4:58. And just walked towards Washington Park. Then we have him on camera again at the first Metro bus stop.
And that was about at 5:30. And that's where the bus driver described him as looking cold and a little disoriented. I don't know if you remember, but the weather that morning, it was extremely cold. It was about 20 degrees and very, very windy. Unfortunately, Josh wasn't wearing a coat. He was just in a long sleeve t-shirt and jeans and tennis shoes. But the bus driver, she helped him purchase an all-day pass. And we're thinking, this is just our assumption, is he kept telling her he wanted to get home to Granite City or Madison County. At that point, when she took him to Emerson Park, he might have realized at that point that that's a train and that does not go to Granite City. And so our thoughts were that he was trying to walk back to the bus station to get to Granite City. And that's why we think he might have gotten lost and just took the wrong street. The last street we have him on, we did find new video. And the last street he was seen on was North 19th Street. It's kind of over by EEJ Trucking, and there's a small fire station there. And it shows him walking down North 19th Street. And then we never see him again. Out that way, there's a couple of abandoned homes that were searched. No evidence of him found there. And then it leads up to railroad tracks. And that's the last we have confirmation, the last sighting. And that was about, I can't remember what the timestamp on that is. I believe.
Okay, guys, I gotta take a break here. I got a runny nose. I gotta use the restroom, and so yeah, BRB. I don't know if I showed up or not. I did boot block. Oh, shoot. Hey, give me 1 second. I gotta clean his litter. Oh, okay. Now, how do I get this back? Yeah, buddy. You coming up? Hey, Clem, my cat's litter. Man, I forgot to grab. I think I'm blowing my nose. I think it's all right. He put some tissues up here. I can't tell. Is this anything playing, or are we back, or? I think it's back. All right. I'm play. Sorry about that.
The one at EEJ was at 7:28, and I believe the one on 19th was just maybe 7:45 or so. I could be wrong on that. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
But that's the last known video we have of him is that time.
Okay, and I know Denise has a couple things she wants to ask as well.
Sure.
I just want to get one question in quick, and then we can have Denise ask a couple. Because Lance Jones asked, who was the last person to see him? So was it the bus stop, the woman at the bus stop?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
As far as we know, she's the last one that has spoken to him. I think there was an elderly gentleman that after the bus driver left, I think he talked to an elderly man about getting on the train. And to me, as a family, we feel like he was just trying to get back home to Granite. And he probably realized that, hey, the Metrolink train's not going to get me there, but the buses go to Granite. The trains do not. And I think he just got turned around and was trying to make his way back to the bus stop.
So he got turned around. He had previously been described as like a little confused. So you think that's?
And I think it was just so cold. I mean, by that time, if you think about it, he left the club at 4:58 a.m. And the last time he was at the bus station was about 6:30. I mean, that's already over an hour and a half in that weather. And it was just, the wind was so strong and it was so cold that day. She said his nose was red, his nose was running, he was cold. I think, and he didn't know that area. I mean, he had been to the clubs down there, but he was not familiar. He did go to the casino every once in a while in East St. Louis to play, but he didn't know downtown East St. Louis.
Yeah.
He would have not known where he was.
Yeah.
I think, and Josh, we make jokes about this all the time, but he had the worst sense of direction. And with him not having a phone or a way to GPS it, I think he just honestly got turned around. I think he just got lost.
Okay. See, this is good. Yeah, this is his mom, man. It sounds like he was a mama's boy. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I was one too. But yeah, and sense of direction, that's information. That's good information. I hope she told the police that. So she thinks he got lost and maybe he fell asleep somewhere and he was cold and he could have died of hypothermia. But where's his body at? You know what I mean? 5'11", 190 pounds. That's, decent sized person.
And, we know he was trying to find his way back home because of the statements he made to the bus driver. I just think he was turned around and couldn't find his way.
Denise, was there something you wanted to?
Well, I know she addressed, there's a lot of questions about the phone. I knew Josh did not have a phone that night.
Right.
So, that was one thing he didn't. Do you know if he had spoken to the bus driver and asked if there was a way he could get to a phone?
No, he never did ask the bus driver that. As far as we know, she did not say that he asked to use a phone. Okay. And honestly, nowadays, I know me personally, I only remember my parents' phone number by heart because they've had the same phone number for like 30 years. Right. A lot of us have our numbers programmed in our phones and we do not memorize phone numbers anymore. That's one thing I would really ask that you all do that we've learned through this tragedy is memorize a phone number. Memorize at least a couple of phone numbers. So if you're ever caught out without your phone dies, or you find somebody and have to borrow a phone, you have a way to connect with someone. I know I saw something on Facebook a couple of months ago saying, if you're broke down and your phone battery's going dead, simply record on a new voice message. So even if your phone dies, hey, I'm stuck at this location, come get me or send help if you can.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I'll be right back. I get blowing nose. Yeah, my nose is running. I wonder if that means anything. Besides, maybe I'm getting.
Be aware of your surroundings. Emergencies happen so quickly, and you're caught off guard. And he didn't have our numbers memorized. I was hoping at the beginning my mom and dad would get a phone call because I know he knew their number. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. But as far as I know, he never did ask to borrow a phone.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything about that. No.
Okay. I definitely wanted to clarify that because that was a lot of questions that had been asked.
Right.
If there was any, and also, I know he did not have much clothes on. I know it was cold. I believe, if I'm correct, the temperature had went from, it was like in the teens, and then it went up a few days later where it got a little bit warmer, and then we had a very bad cold spell after that too.
Right.
I know it was very cold when we went searching too.
Yes, it was cold. Yes, it was wet and rainy and cold and just horrible out there. Definitely.
Yes, and the area that was searched, and I know it was a big group of people that went and searched. My biggest thing is I know there was a lot of rumors about did he talk, and I know his friends were not. They're not suspected in anything.
Right.
You know, this is just he walked away and clarify, and that was the biggest thing for me is to get a lot of clarification because your family deserves that.
Exactly. And when it came up to the situation about the people that were there with him that night, I admit at first I was curious. Hey,
yeah,
I had some questions of my own. But when you look at all the videos from the different area cameras that we've been able to see, there is never a car that follows Josh. It was so early on a Sunday morning. There's barely anybody else out there. All you see basically is Josh. You'll see a car every once in a while, but we've never seen anybody following him. There's never been a car that's following him. It's just him walking, and he looks like he's lost. He's just, he walks for a while and then he looks around and he keeps going. And I think honestly, he was just trying to find the bus station again, the Jackie Joyner station, to get back home. That's my interpretation. When I see the video, he just gets lost. That's what I see. I've never seen anybody following him at all though. So we don't suspect that the guys that he was there with that night had anything to do with him disappearing. I met all three of them. And like I said, they were newer friends of Joshua's. He didn't know them well. I didn't know them at all. But as far as we believe now, you can tell nobody was following. And it's not like Josh had his phone to call them and say, hey, come get me. I'm at this place right now. He's literally walking the whole time. He doesn't have a way to tell anybody where he's at.
Can I just jump in with a quick question?
Sure.
It's kind of relevant right there. So Carla Sapp had asked, where's the cabaret located? I'll just add on to the question. How far are we talking? Because I know it took almost 2 hours from like the cabaret to the bus station to, how far are these locations from each other?
It's a couple miles apart.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a couple miles apart.
Is it like downtown? Where
it is right off of Buncombe Road in Washington Park. And it's right close to 64 highway. It's not far at all. And Jackie Joyner, the bus station, is on the other side of East St. Louis if you take 64, but it's a long walk. I mean, it's definitely a trek. As far as we know, he did not get a ride there. We've never seen any evidence to suggest that somebody gave him a ride from Washington Park to East St. Louis. We believe he was on foot that whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Jason, it's kind of roughly down the street where the place is, and then the highway is about just right. I mean, you can see
it's right there. Yeah.
And then the bus Metrolink station it's probably about 2 miles down the road.
Okay. Yeah, it's over by the Casino Queen in that area.
Yeah, because that would still be 2 hours would be quite a long.
Yeah, and honestly, we don't know if he walked straight from Scarlett's to the bus stop. We're not sure if he got lost even going to the bus stop or if somebody picked him up and took him there. There was reports, a friend of mine's friend that she used to work with said, I saw him on 64 highway about 5:15 in the morning. And that would match if he was walking and he took 64 and got off by where the bus stop was. But again, there's no verification at all that he got into the car with someone.
Okay. Yeah, we have a question in the chat. I wanted to ask something as well.
Okay.
The time he was at the club at like almost 5 in the morning. Are things open really late around there? Is that normal?
Yeah, I don't think that club closes down till 6 a.m. and then it reopens at like noon or something, I think.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure.
So that's normal then. Okay.
Yeah, that's normal.
There's several clubs in the area.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just East St. Louis or Washington Park, but we also have Brooklyn and Poche that
East
have a lot
St.
of clubs
Louis?
in the area that are open.
Oh, that's a
all
bad
night long.
area, man.
Some are open, I believe.
Yeah, I drove
It's
through
been a while
there.
since I've been
That's
to one.
bad.
Some of them are open 24 hours, but that one closes, I believe, at 6.
Right.
I've never heard of that except for maybe like New York and Miami.
Yeah, it's a busy place down there.
Wow.
I know we were there the evening of the 20th, I believe.
That's
everything kind of merges together for me. It's hard to keep the dates separated, but we were on the ground quickly. We had SARS K9 unit has been oh my gosh, they've been such a big blessing. They were out there on the 21st with the dogs looking.
Oh, wow.
I know I was called on the 20th. I was at work the morning of the 20th, and my youngest called and said, Mom, I don't mean to scare you, but we think Josh is missing. Nobody knows where he's at. Nobody's heard from him. And I left work, came home and packed and was on the road within an hour or two. And from there, everything kind of blurs to me. I can't remember exact dates on all the searches, but we were on the ground every day. At least somebody was, the first month at least. I do want to say I've heard some criticisms about the police that are in charge of the case. The detective we work with has been amazing. She's not a missing person detective. She's actually a homicide detective, but she got caught with the case. And I've gotten to know her, and I truly love her. She's just been amazing in this whole thing. At the beginning, it was rough. Washington Park does not have the resources. And there were times I felt like I was batting my head against the wall. It was just so tough to get anything done. And as soon as Illinois State took over, that's been a big help. And especially with Chelsea, the detective in charge of our case, she keeps me up to date. She calls me as soon as she hears anything. She's went out of her way, even on her days off, to check video for us. If we get a tip in and somebody says, I think I saw Josh at this location, she'll go get the videotape, and sometimes we get to watch it together. Other times, she'll do it at home or whatever, and she'll pick it up on her way home from work. I want to give a shout out to Chelsea. She's been really good. We also have a PI now that we work with. And unfortunately, nothing new has come to light. We don't have any new leads, but she's been working the case really hard for us. And I really appreciate Elizabeth. It was funny. I called her and she said, is this Josh's mom? And I mean, she knew who I was right away. And she's been on our Bring Josh Home page from the very beginning, day one. And she had actually met Josh in real life. And so that was kind of a weird thing to know. So she knew what he was like in real life. She knows his mannerisms. And so she's been gun-ho and she's done her best, but unfortunately nothing new has come to light. We still don't have any solid leads. So anyway, just wanted to take a minute to thank them. They've been great.
Absolutely.
That's awesome for her to thank the police department, take out for him like that. Like she said, they're getting criticism. She's taking out for him. And I think it's really awesome too that the detective knew him. So maybe, being personal, knowing him personally, that could be a good thing. Yeah. It's just so sad when somebody goes missing. You just don't know what happened. You don't know if they're alive. Gosh, man.
Thank you to them, anybody helping out. And it's always appreciated, guys. Any little bit you can do.
Absolutely.
The family always really appreciates it. So please. Brittany asks, is there any water nearby?
There's a lot of water nearby. I never realized, because I had never really been in that area, but there are ponds. There, of course, is the Mississippi. There's creeks, a lot of ponds, small ponds all around that area. I was surprised about how much water there is out there. I was really surprised. Now, Midwest EquiSearch, when they came back to town on November 18th, and we didn't really publicize it because they have specialized drones that picks up colors, and it's very detailed. And so you can't have a lot of people in the area because the color of his blue jeans is what we programmed in. And so
that message there come up, said Washington Park's easy to get lost. And you got to think it's night. It's cold. He's not familiar with the area. You throw in possibility, alcohol, confusion. I don't know what his headspace was like. She said that she called and he apologized. I don't like that, man. That worries me when, he called and apologized for everything he did. And, when that kind of, I don't want to say it, man, but that kind of makes my mind go to a possibility. But I don't know. It's not, he sounded like, he had 2 children and he had a good job that he was excited about. So things were, looked like he had a lot going on. He's a young man, good looking guy, single. I mean, it could be a lot worse.
That camera on those drones will pick up something as small as a little Coke can. And they send the video back to the people operating the drones. And then if they think it's a possibility, they send out searchers to that area. So we didn't broadcast that one because we couldn't have a lot of blue jeans walking around the area, of course. But the water, because we have been in a drought by December or November, the ponds in that area were really shallow. So we were able to pretty much determine that the smaller ponds, there's no sighting of him.
Okay.
Unfortunately, like I had talked to Denise earlier, the Mississippi is a different story. I have not yet been able to find a dive team to go into the Mississippi, but the problem there would be the Mississippi flows so swiftly. And you're talking, it'll be a year next month. I don't know if that's even doable right now. I really don't. If anybody knows of a dive team, I'm looking for one.
I always recommend Adventures with Purpose, but I think you have to have a vehicle in order.
Yes, the people that I have talked to with dive teams said they work with metal detectors and they look for like cars that have been submerged in the water. They don't go in looking. So I haven't found a dive team yet. But if anybody knows of one, pass them my way for sure.
Please say it in the chat, guys. And Denise, I want to let you get a question in as well. I know you probably have a few. Just to answer Lance, 19th Street was the last time that he was seen. He asked if he was seen any stations beyond 19th Street. He was not, right? That's what we were talking earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Denise, if you would like.
No, I was just going to kind of point on what Christina said. Mississippi River has a very strong current that it's really hard to go into, and certain parts of the area is harder than others.
Right.
So that's what's bad. But there is so many little water areas in both areas that he was last seen. And
I think actually by Scarlett's Cabaret, when we got to looking, we went the other way down Buncombe Road towards Caseyville, and there's so many little ponds out there that I never realized were out there.
Yeah, I think there's 6 total.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes, on Buncombe Road, and I believe across the highway there is.
There is absolutely.
And the one thing I wanted to ask you, when he left, because I know there's so many rumors that has went around, and of course, your family does not deserve to hear a lot of rumors and that. And of course, I have heard nothing but wonderful things about Josh, and that's his friends. And speaking, I believe, to your other son when we were out searching, and he is just the most kind-hearted person there was. And everybody seemed to love him, and that's kind of why, I do my best to help with whatever I can. We got the billboards up in East St. Louis, which I kind of hope we can get another set.
Yeah.
But,
Denise, I'm so sorry to cut it. Is somebody playing music in the background? I keep hearing music.
I'm not playing music, but I hear it too.
I don't know.
It seems like it got louder to me over the last few seconds. That's why.
That's weird.
I'm so sorry to cut you off.
I'm
Yeah, I don't
wondering
know.
am I echoing?
No,
it's music.
It's music, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe someone outside. Okay, I didn't mean to. Sorry.
No,
You're fine. You're fine. But what I wanted to, when he left the club and walked down, he did stop at the Metrolink first, correct?
Yes, that's the first known place that he stopped at. The first place. What's the other club's name on that road by it?
Scarlet.
There's Scarlett's and there's the Hustler Club.
Okay, so the Hustler Club had him on their outside videos showing him walking past towards Washington Park. That's why we know he headed in that direction, because he was picked up on their outside.
So he basically headed west to the Metrolink, which, if I'm correct, I drove down there. That road kind of winds a little bit out there before it gets to there. But with your friend possibly seeing him on 64, could he have went off that off ramp and went down to the next?
And that's what I think. I'm not, like I said, we don't know if somebody picked him up and gave him a ride to Jackie Joyner's, or he walked down 64 and got off to get to Jackie Joyner's. But we know that the last sighting was he leaves Scarlett's, then you see him on the outdoor cameras of the Hustler, and then I got everything written down in front of me. So Hustler Club video showed Josh walking north onto Vassar Avenue, Washington Park. Then before 5:30, there's a claim that a friend of a friend saw Josh walking west along I-64 between Kings Highway and North 25th Street, East St. Louis. And then he's seen it on video at Jackie Joyner Percy Center's bus rail stop. And that's where the bus driver talked to him. Let's see. And then the bus driver tells him get on his bus. She took him to Emerson Park, bought him and helped him get an all-day pass. We know he had $20 in his pocket. He pulled that out of his pocket. She bought the pass for him. Emerson Park Transit video shows Josh waiting on the train, but walks eastward off platform, then turns left on North 15th Street about 6:45 a.m. And then the next time, there's a few businesses. There's a church there. I'm trying to think of what else. I don't remember all the video cameras we watched. There was quite a few video at different locations.
So I don't think he was robbed, because there was no activity on his cards, no cell phone. $20, and sound like he probably spent the rest of his money, or pretty close to it, on the ticket that he took. Leaving his cell phone though. I wonder if they said there was altercation in the club, but he wasn't involved in it. And then he ran off. Why would he just run off, though? That's weird. I mean, I'm sure they interviewed the people with him. I don't know. Something they showed the video. I think I've seen it. Yeah, he walks like he's got a bad back. He hurt his back or something. So he's kind of got a crutch. I don't know. Like, he kind of walks like an old man because he hurt his back. I can't remember how he hurt his back. And I guess it was 2023. I think he could be in that water. They said that nobody dived in those ponds. It sounds like there's some bad areas. If it's around East St. Louis, sounds like there's some bad areas around there. I know there was, like, if I remember this right, there was like a homeless person that thought they saw, somebody being jumped. But he really didn't have anything, though. Like, and it sounds like they didn't take his card or anything. So they would have probably tried to use it, right? Here's another one. Maybe this kind of goes through it here.
What is going on, YouTube? This is Arctic Fox. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the missing persons case of 32-year-old Joshua Lewis Wayne Amos, who is missing out of East St. Louis, Illinois. Joshua has been missing since the 19th of March, 2023. He is 5 foot 10 inches tall and weighs 190 pounds with medium-length brown hair, brown eyes, and a full beard. Joshua was last seen wearing blue jeans, a gray sweatshirt, and black shoes. He was last seen hanging out with his friends near Buncombe Road in East St. Louis, Illinois at around 4:58 a.m. At around 5:15 a.m., he walked away from his friends by himself on foot on 56th Street East towards Washington Park, Illinois, and he's not been seen or heard from since. Now, everyone is very concerned about Joshua's safety and well-being, and unfortunately, there really hasn't been any leads. They have brought dogs out. There's been multiple searches for him, but nothing has led to finding him. Again, he was last seen wearing a gray hoodie, blue jeans, and black Adidas shoes when he disappeared. He does have some tattoos of his daughter's names, and his chest tattoos are of his daughter's names, I should say, and one begins with B, the other begins with M. Anyone that has information on Joshua or his whereabouts is asked to contact authorities at 618-967-1027, 618-219-0830, or 618-866-3772. Now, like I said, he's got children that he loves very much, and it's tough on these kids not knowing where their father is. And so his mother is beside herself right now with grief, worried about her son. Everyone that cares about this man is desperate to try to find him. And unfortunately, his case just really isn't getting a ton of coverage right now, guys. So what I need from every one of you is to help me get Joshua's face out there. Give the video a like. It does help more people to see Josh, and the more people that see him, the better the chances are that we can bring him home safe. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, consider clicking that subscribe button. It really does help the channel out. And if you ring that notification bell, you'll always be alerted whenever I post another missing persons video. But the most important thing that I need for all of you to do right now is to simply click that share button, guys. Share this to your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, wherever you have social media. Guys, it only takes a second of your time to do, and it can make all the difference in the world in whether we're able to find Joshua and bring him home safe to his family or not. As always, guys, I do want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Y'all be kind to one another out there, and let's bring Joshua home safe.
Yeah, that's him. He went missing March 19, 2023. It's not been too long ago, a couple years ago. So I guess he would be like 35 now. I mean, could he hit his head and he's out there, he started a new life, doesn't know who he is? You know, that's always a possibility. Wow. I'm going to end it there. I'm going to end it here. I'm going to go back and play the rest of the interview with the mother. But that's pretty much it. I just kind of wanted a short one on him. I think they could find him here. I think there's definitely a good possibility they can find him, and maybe he's all right. Maybe he's out there somewhere. All right, guys.